Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself. And today I want to talk about something that is hard to hear and it's hard to believe. And it's about the health failures and all the stories about all our health failures that we tell ourselves and we tell the world. Okay, so this is how we don't take responsibility for claiming our future and our health freedom and just like being who we want to be, because we let the story of the past and we let the story of all these failures that we've had, we let them consume us, we let them overtake us, and we become a victim to them, and we look for sympathy and understanding from the outside world in order to hold on to those stories. So I'm just going to set this down because my arm is tired. I can't switch hands because my dogs are in my other hand. Okay, so do you have these health stories that you tell yourself, your health stories, right? Like, I've tried everything. I have done everything. I've done this, I've done that, I've gone on this diet, I've gone on that diet, I've done this protocol, I've done that protocol, I've done this for this long, I've tried this, and nothing works. And we tell this story, maybe to our friends, maybe to our family, to ourselves, to practitioners, to anyone who could possibly help us or love us or listen to us. And we tell this story because we're feeling helpless and we're feeling hopeless and we're feeling just, we see this pattern playing over and over, this cycle, right? This cycle coming over and over. I'm going to turn around. And this cycle is, we try something, it doesn't work, we feel hopeless and discouraged, it sucks, we get motivated, we try something else, that doesn't work, we fall deeper, we try something else, right? This is the cycle. We see it happening. And so we tell others as a way to have somebody commiserate with us, as a way to get something. Our psyche is getting something deeper out of this, whether we want to believe it or not. It is. We're looking for someone to feel sorry for us, someone to understand our pain, someone to love us, somebody to help us, someone to tell us it's going to be okay. We're looking for something from the outside world that we can't get within ourselves, right? We're looking for empathy and sympathy and the woe is me, somebody to put their hand on our back and say, you tried, it's okay, you're doing the best you can. We're looking for like a way out. Like, don't beat yourself up, you're fine, you've done the best you can. We're looking for this, right? Because we're not getting it within ourselves. And the thing that this is doing, the thing that we have to be careful about, these failed health stories that we tell over and over, is that it starts to become our future. So we almost now go into each new protocol and each new thing that we're trying with dashed hopes already. We already see the cycle unfolding. We already see it not working. We already see ourselves failing. We already see ourselves low and needing to pick up and start again. We bring the past into the future and we say it didn't work before, so it's not going to work again. So we're literally, law of attractioning, we're literally replaying the past by holding on to that story. And each time we hold on to that story, we retell that story, we look for validation from others from that story, or sympathy or help or just understanding in any way. We're reinforcing the victim in us, and we're reinforcing the poor you, and we're reinforcing the story that we don't want to hold on to, yet we are. And we're literally calling it into the present, and then it becomes the future. So the next thing we try will literally fail because that's the story we're holding so tight to. And we're not really coming at it with a new perspective each time, like, this is going to work. And I understand why, right? Because this pattern has developed, and patterns. Oh, patterns. Hang on just a second. My hands are so tired from not switching because of the dogs. It's crazy. Anyways, let me just sit down and finish this video here so I can set the camera down. But I want to talk about patterns, okay? These patterns, they're so critical, right? This is how our subconscious gets a pattern. We have reinforced it enough times, we've lived it enough times, we expect it now. Therefore, our subconscious has this pattern. You expect it, therefore you call it into existence. Now, I'm not saying that this is your fault. This is all subconscious, but we have to become conscious of this pattern. And to become conscious of this pattern, we have to recognize it. We have to say, stop. Okay, I see what's happening. I'm creating my future. I'm creating, hey, bye.
Oh, hi.
So I'm creating my future by holding onto my past. And my subconscious is doing this to me. It's playing it out for me before I even have a chance to consciously decide how I want this to play out. And so breaking these patterns becomes so important. And the way that we break the patterns is we first become conscious, we become aware of what's happening, and we say stop. We say, I'm going to try a new thing, this health thing, and it's going to work. And we bring like a different energy to it, a different attitude to it. We don't, as soon as we get, an inkling that it's failing, or an inkling that things are the same, or an inkling, we don't just let the bottom fall out and fall back into that pattern, right? We say, no, this is going to work. And we keep going for it. And if it does not work, we consider it a new experience. It's not just another thing that didn't work, right? We don't add it to our story. It's just a totally different experience of something that didn't work out. And then we don't go and look for validation and sympathy and everything from everyone else to reinforce the old pattern. Okay? We have to take full responsibility for this story ourselves, right? We have to be in control of this story. Meaning if we're ever going to create a new one, we have to stop the pattern. So that means believing and adding it to the past story and letting that story get bigger and bigger. We have to stop that. We have to say, oh, okay, this didn't work. It's a completely new experience. It was an isolated event. We don't add it to the past story. And then we do not go around looking for the validation, the sympathy, the understanding, and everything from others so that we can feel that sense of this is all the same, right? This is how I roll. So we have to change something. So even if the thing that we're trying doesn't work, we have to change the story that we're telling ourselves around that to a new story so that it was just a thing. We don't need sympathy. We don't need validation. It's different. I'm taking control of my life. I'm trying new things. I'm experimenting, right? It becomes a different story and a different reaction to the story, a different reaction to something that doesn't work out. And it doesn't become part of your identity. Like, oh, I try everything and nothing works out. That is the story that I've told myself. It is the story that you're telling yourself. I'm the type of person, I've been sick so long, and everything I try, nothing works. I mean, we proudly go into practitioners' offices when we're telling our stories and we say, I've done everything and nothing works. Right? I'm not blaming you for saying this, but I know you've said it. I have done everything, right? Which isn't true. Which A, is not true. That is not a fact. You have not done everything. I say that too. I've tried everything. It's because I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and I've spent 7 years trying numerous, like oodles of things, like more things than you can comprehend. But that is not a fact that I have tried everything. I haven't tried everything. I literally haven't. So A, it's not true. We're telling ourselves a lie, a story that's not true, that is meant to reinforce the overall victim story, right? Like, I've tried everything and nothing works, right? We're telling ourselves and others, nothing works. Why do we want to tell ourselves that nothing works, okay? If you have to say it, if you have to say that, say nothing has worked yet. Nothing has worked yet, but I know I'm going to find the thing. Can you start even there? Start by changing it slightly, okay? I've tried almost everything. I've tried a lot of things. Change your story. Instead of I've tried everything and nothing works, I've tried a lot of things, more than most people, and nothing has worked yet, but I know that I am on my way to finding the thing that does, right? That's an empowering story. And it's truth, it's true, and it leaves us feeling more hopeful than more despair, right? Because telling the story, I've tried everything and nothing works, period, is the end of the story. That's all we get. And so we're setting ourselves up for the next time that we try something we already expect. This is not going to work, period. We need to change our story, right? Or can you change it completely? Can you go in and say, man, I've tried a lot of things over the years and I'm ready to find the thing that does. I know that I'm going to find the thing this year, and I know that it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'm excited about trying something new. And even if it doesn't work out, I know that it's just pushing me closer to the thing that is going to work because I feel it. I feel that this is going to happen for me. I know that this is going to happen for me. That's a completely different energy, right? And I'm not saying we can all get there. I know it's depressing. I know it is disheartening. And it can lead us into a pit of despair. I know that. But when we cycle into the pit of despair, it's not from just what just failed. It's not from what just happened. It's not from just today. You do not fall into a pit of despair when you're living in the present moment. It's because you are bringing your past and you're loading up your past. You're loading it up into a big snowball and you're rolling it down the hill, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're rolling it on past the present day and into the future where it just is totally out of control. The snowball's so big and it just falls off a cliff and crashes. And that's what you're imagining, right? You're whipping right by the present day and you're rolling the snowball right past this huge snowball from all the things that have failed and didn't work. You're adding them up and it's rolling right on past you, rolling you over and steamrolling right into your future. So you're not even allowing yourself to create a future where the snowball isn't in it, right? Where this snowball gets off the track. Someone pushes the snowball into the ditch, it stops, it bangs into a tree, it crumbles, it falls apart, right? And now you can create something new. The snowball doesn't have to, the force doesn't have to keep going into the future. So what we're looking to do is to roll this snowball off its tracks because it is already going and the energy is big. And there's a lot of momentum behind these stories, right? This is a snowball that has been rolling down a steep hill. And so I understand the momentum is big. But if you don't want it to run you over and keep rolling into your future, you've got to push it off. You've got to consciously choose, no, I'm not going to let this roll me right down and into my future. I'm going to create a new one, right? So it's easier said than done. I know that, but the very first step is becoming conscious. This is what I'm doing. And the next time I'm not going to tell the woe is me story. The next time I'm not going to, already predict what's going to happen before I try this. I'm going to live in the present moment. I'm going to do what I can today. I'm going to let things add up. Things are going to work out in my favor. Right? We have to start telling ourselves these things, even if we don't believe them. I mean, believing them is key because when you just say the words, it's hard. It's like, yes, I believe this is going to work. But if we don't feel it, it's like we have to change the energy of the story. We have to start somewhere. What is one little thing you can believe? Just like what I said, rather than saying I've tried everything and nothing works, I've tried a lot of things and nothing's worked yet. I mean, start small. You have to believe it. You have to feel good about what you're thinking about so that you can believe it, but you have to make a change. It has to be powerful enough that it shifts. It shifts the energy of the story and that big snowball that's coming down, right? So yeah, if you could believe, wow, I'm definitely going to heal. That would crash the snowball to bits in one piece. But if all you can do is say, nothing's worked yet, it stops the speed of the snowball coming down. And then you can get more powerful until you can just push it out of the way and be done with that snowball, right? We don't want our past rolling into our future, okay? So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you see how all your past health failures are adding up into one big snowball that is a story that your subconscious is literally pushing down the hill towards you, right? And we have to start being conscious. We have to become aware that this is our story and this is the story that needs to stop. This is it. This is the story that needs to stop if we don't want to see this same pattern play out in our future. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.